2017 was arguably the worst year for Islamophobia in America since 9/11. During the last 12 months, America witnessed the normalization of Islamophobia in its politics, policies, and institutions. Islamophobia has been mainstreamed. Muslims have been banned from entering the country, assaults against Muslims are at a record high, and the President of the United States continues to frame Muslims as a threat to national security. In January, the Trump administration issued a Muslim ban, fulfilling a campaign promise for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States. Since then, the administration has issued 3 iterations of the ban, each of which has been struck down in federal courts. However, on December 4th, the Supreme Court allowed the 3rd iteration of the Muslim ban to go into effect. 98% of those affected by this ruling are Muslims, affirming the ban's initial intent, to keep Muslims out of America. In 2017, the number of assaults targeting Muslims and mosques continued to spike. Muslims and allies were assaulted and even killed. The Council on American Islamic Relations reported a 91% increase in hate crimes targeting Muslims in the first 6 months of 2017 alone. FBI hate crime statistics released this year showed that the number of anti-Islamic hate crimes reported by the FBI nearly doubled between 2014 and 2016. This year alone, 35 mosques across the country were set on fire or vandalized. In August, a mosque in Minnesota was firebombed. Notably, the attack wasn't acknowledged by President Trump. And, while troubling, these statistics do not accurately reflect the daily experiences of American Muslims. Bias incidents remain severely underreported by both law enforcement and survivors. Anti-Muslim attitudes were emboldened by double standards in the media. Throughout 2017, mass acts of violence carried out by white, non-Muslim perpetrators were rarely labeled as terrorism. Meanwhile, coverage of attacks carried out by Muslims emphasized the perpetrator's religious background and were almost immediately condemned as acts of terror. President Trump doubled down on these double standards, using these incidents to call for anti-immigration policies on Twitter. And on November 29th, the president retweeted anti-Muslim propaganda videos that were originally posted by a racist, far-right political group in the UK. Islamophobic rhetoric was not limited to media and politicians. In June, the largest anti-Muslim grassroots organization, Act for America, hosted marches, quote-unquote, against Sharia in 27 cities. The marches furthered misconceptions about Sharia by framing Islam as incompatible with the U.S. Constitution. In August, white supremacists marched openly in Charlottesville, Virginia, spewing anti-Black, anti-Semitic, Islamophobic, and homophobic slurs. Amid this disturbing reality, there are reasons to hope. In 2017, Americans of all backgrounds denounced Islamophobia more visibly than ever before. When the Muslim ban was announced on January 27th, thousands of people rallied at airports across the country. Federal judges struck down the Muslim ban 3 separate times, pointing to President Trump's long history of Islamophobic remarks. Celebrities addressed anti-Muslim prejudice at some of the most publicized events of the year. 2017 has been a year defined by Islamophobia, but also by public outcry against it. No matter what 2018 brings, the Bridge Initiative will have the information you need to counter Islamophobia.